with a darker, more horror-infused tone than most MCU films. It picks up threads from WandaVision, diving deeper into Wanda's emotional arc, while also building on Strange's choices in Avengers, Endgame, and Spider-Man: No Way Home. What makes the story so gripping is its stakes. This isn't just about saving the day, it's about grappling with moral dilemmas, personal loss, and the consequences of tampering with reality itself. The film explores big questions. What would you sacrifice for the ones you love? How far would you go to protect the universe? These themes hit hard, especially through Wanda and Strange, making the movie feel personal despite its cosmic scope. The pacing at a tight 2 hours and 6 minutes is relentless, with twists and turns that keep you guessing. Some critics noted the plot can feel dense with multiversal lore, but that's part of its charm. It rewards you for paying attention. Director Sam Raimi's fingerprints are all over this film, and that's a huge reason to watch. Known for his horror roots, Raimi makes Multiverse of Madness the darkest and most violent MCU film yet, pushing the PG-13 rating to its limits. Expect jump scares, creepy creatures, and moments that feel like they belong in The Evil Dead. One early scene with a giant tentacled monster named Gargantos, a nod to Marvel Comics' Submariner foe, is pure Raimi, chaotic, visceral, and a little unhinged. Post from fans called it a CGI horror jam, and they're not wrong. Raimi also sprinkles in his signature humor, like a slapstick moment with Bruce Campbell that'll have you chuckling, but it's not all scares and laughs. Raimi balances the horror with heart, crafting scenes that explore love, sacrifice, and redemption. The film's darker tone makes the emotional beats hit harder, especially in Wanda's arc. If you've seen WandaVision, you'll appreciate how this movie builds on her story without retreading old ground. For Raimi fans, it's a love letter to his style. Think snap zooms, Dutch angles, and a gothic vibe that feels like a comic book come to life. The visuals in Multiverse of Madness are a reason to watch on their own. Cinematographer John Matheson, Gladiator Logan, creates a world that's both dazzling and unsettling, with alternate realities that look like they were dreamed up by Salvador Dali. One sequence reimagines a classic Disney animated film in a mind-bending way, while another feels like a psychedelic trip through a kaleidoscope. The visual effects, crafted by studios like Industrial Light and Magic and Framestore, are top tier, with seamless CGI that brings the multiverse to life. The budget, $350.6 million, ensures every frame is packed with detail, from glowing spell effects to sprawling cityscapes. The music is just as epic, thanks to composer Danny Elfman. Known for Batman, Spider-Man, and The Nightmare Before Christmas, Elfman delivers a score that's haunting, sweeping, vigorous, and perfectly matched to the film's tone. His music amplifies the eerie atmosphere while giving the action scenes a pulse-pounding energy. Listen for leitmotifs that nod to WandaVision and the first Doctor Strange. It's a treat for fans who catch the connections. Costume designer Graham Churchyard also deserves a shout-out, with iconic looks like Strange's Cloak of Levitation and Wanda's Scarlet Witch outfit. Some costumes, like those for certain cameos, leaned on VFX due to pandemic-related production constraints, but they still pop on screen. Speaking of production, let's geek out over the behind-the-scenes details. Filming began in November 2020 in London, with additional shoots in Somerset, Surrey, and Los Angeles. The $350.6 million budget covered insane sets, like a multiversal tribunal and a crumbling New York City. The production faced hurdles due to the COVID-19 pandemic, with reshoots in late 2021 to refine the story and add key scenes. Despite these challenges, the film feels polished, thanks to a crew that included editors Bob Murawski and Tia Nolan, who kept the pace tight and the visuals cohesive. The film's development wasn't without drama. Originally, Scott Derrickson, director of the first Doctor Strange, was set to helm this sequel but left due to creative differences. Enter Sam Raimi, who took the reins and made it his own. The script went through multiple drafts, with Michael Waldron stepping in after his work on Loki. Fun tidbit, Waldron wrote a 3D sequence that never made the final cut due to theater projection concerns, but the film still feels immersive. The production also used cutting-edge tech, like virtual sets for multiverse scenes, making every reality feel distinct. Let's talk numbers. Multiverse of Madness was a box office juggernaut, grossing $955.8 million worldwide against its $350.6 million budget. It opened with $187.4 million in the US and Canada, including $36 million from previews, and raked in top earnings in markets like the UK, $51.4 million, South Korea, $49.2 million, and Mexico, $40.6 million. It's the highest-grossing film of 2022 in several countries, proving its global appeal. Critically, it earned a 74% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes from 465 reviews, with praise for Raimi's direction, Olsen's performance, and the bold visuals. Metacritic gave it a 60 out of 100 from 65 critics, noting its chaotic plot but lauding its ambition. Audiences loved it, giving it a B+ cinema score and an 82% approval on post-track, with 69% saying they'd recommend it. Ex-post were a mixed bag. Fans adored the insane horror winks and cameos, but some felt the multiverse wasn't explored enough. Still, the consensus is clear. This is a bold, divisive, and unforgettable MCU entry.